Hey, in this video, we'll talk about artificial intelligence and what is the purpose of artificial intelligence. What are the topics that we need to learn to master the artificial intelligence or become a artificial intelligence engineer? Basically, what are the sequence that we need to follow? So, what is the sequence to learn a thing and how to learn a thing and how to get it done? So, everything that you need to know about artificial intelligence will be covered in this video. So, let's start with the video, guys.
If this is your first visit, let me tell you that I'm all about artificial intelligence. I approach courses of regarding machine learning, deep learning, chatbot, NLP, Python, and apart from this, I also upload informative videos which are regarding the artificial intelligence only. So this channel is all about artificial intelligence. If you ever want to master artificial intelligence, consider subscribing. So let's start with the video.
First topic is statistics, and in statistics, basically we read about bar charts and other things, and we use probability, we use some methodology, we use some formulas, we use some probability with statistics solutions. That is, basically we use null hypothesis theorem, and we use combine all those things to study a particular thing. Basically, when we start with statistics, we have a we have a theory. We check if the theory is correct or not. That is called hypothesis theory. Hypothesis, null hypothesis is very interesting topic too. So basically, in statistics, we have hypothesis theorem. We have theorems that are including mathematical stuff and probability and other things. We have standard deviation. We have mean. We have mode, median. We have covariance theorem. We have probability. We have mathematical behind the laws and etc. We have almost everything that is basically a backbone of any machine learning or data science project. And to do this, basically we focus on the output, we focus on the methodology, and focus on the way we are doing it. Next, we have the language. Basically it's Python and R. There are other languages too. Basically Python is something that I strongly prefer, and the reason behind it is that Python has the strong capability of solving each and every issue. You have all the libraries that you need. You have all the issues solving. Solutions are there online. You can find if you're stuck with an error or bug, you can always find a solution out there by just googling it and go on over Stack Overflow and other sites, and you can always find a solution. And Python has so many libraries. Whatever issue you're having, whatever thing that you want to add, just search for it. You will find a library for that, and that is the power of Python. Right now, today, at present, Python is the strongest language that we have for artificial intelligence. So I strongly recommend that you only go for Python, not with R. In Python, you just need to know if condition, for loop, while loop, functions, mapping, lambdas. Obviously, class and OOP concept is very important. So guys, if you pay good attention on OOP concept, it will be a very good thing. And NumPy and Pandas are very important. Pandas basically is a most important library that we can really read, study in artificial intelligence. Basically, in machine learning and data science projects, 70% of our work of data cleaning and wrangling is basically done with Pandas only. So Pandas is one of the most important library that you need to study. So pay good attention when you're learning that. And Matplotlib and Seaborn is also there. So basically, Matplotlib is a basic library, and Seaborn works over Matplotlib only. And Seaborn is an advanced library for visualization tool. Okay, basically when we want to visualize something, a graph chart, a pie chart, anything like that, we use Seaborn over Matplotlib. Strongly recommending that don't only go with Matplotlib, do learn Seaborn. It takes little time, but it's a good library to learn. And other basic concepts are also there in Python, which is basically trick and tricks kind of there. So there are some functions with each data type. So if you have list, set, tuples, other things are there. There are some function and method that work with them. So basically you have to learn some complete circle of this, and by learning all the complete circle, we will be getting good hands-on experience of Python. Python don't take much time. If you dedicate 15 days, truly honestly on Python, you will get a very good result. Machine learning and data science are both kept in the same list. The reason for this is basically no data science project ever ends without machine learning. So you need the machine learning at the end. So basically you learn the same thing for both. So basically to learn this, to understand this, you start with NumPy, Pandas only. Go for Matplotlib and Seaborn, then come to implement some algorithms. After implementing the algorithms, you create the machine learning model. So in data science project, in machine learning project, both are the same scenarios and both are the same pattern. That's why I kept in the same list. In machine learning data science, you basically need to learn all the algorithms, supervised, unsupervised algorithm, regression, classification, and clustering, accuracy, how to check the accuracy in regression, how to check accuracy in classification, how to check accuracy in clustering. So you need to understand all those things. Pre-processing is also there. So feature engineering, pre-processing are basically the same thing. Basically, you need to clean the data, you understand the data, you drop the columns which are not required, you combine the columns which are can be combined. We use PCA and other techniques to implement it and make it better. Plotting is also there. So plotting is a very important part. Basically, data always talk to you by plotting it. So a huge number of data can be plotted when a scatter plot, and we can directly spot the outliners, directly spot the pattern that we have in the data set, and this is a very good technique to do. Model selection is one of the most important steps. Basically, at the end, you will implement a algorithm, and which algorithm to use and what kind of model you have to create is the step that we do in model selection. It is some more of a logical than implementing, and guys, you need to have good experience before this to actually go for model selection. So basically, the best way is to try all the things and combine the result and get the output. Voting algorithm, Ansible modeling, and other kind of modeling are there which help to do that, and it's a very interesting way of doing it. You should go for random forest too. It is also a very good technique to use, and there are several ways, other ways too. That is something that you learn with experience, obviously, and it takes some time. Next is natural language processing and OCR, guys. Especially OCR, guys. People are very prone to leave NLP and OCR both at the same time. Basically, guys, OCR is a technique when you want to read the character from an image, and OCR is a very important part of NLP and visualization, basically. So don't leave the OCR when you're running NLP, and it come in a combination, basically. So you have to word to vec model is there, doc to vector model is there, bagging, TRF-IDF model, text processing, chat processing, and all kind of modeling that we have. NLP have very high amount of models, guys. There is a language model, uni model, bivariant model, and other models are there. So there are so much variety of models there, and every model has its own way. So basically, you have to go with the basic and to the very height. NLP doesn't take much time, but it take a decent amount of time. You have to have to be very flexible with learning, because things work very differently in NLP. Chat processing, then guys, a very easily left out topic in NLP. Basically, if you're working on artificial intelligence, chat processing is something that you definitely need to learn. So chatbots, Rasa chatbot, other chatbots is something that you need to learn. So Rasa is there, NLTK Spacey libraries are there, other chat frameworks are there. So Dialog4 Mina is there, which is a very important and very strong library. But I strongly recommend that if you're going for chat processing, only learn Rasa initially. That is more than enough. Rasa is an open source, very strong framework, extremely strong framework. You can use it in every way. People are extensively using Rasa right now in live projects. It is a practical thing. So if you learn Rasa, that is more than enough. You will easily get a job if you only learn Rasa. That is the power of Rasa right now. So definitely Rasa is a very good library to learn. It's a framework, basically. And next will be deep learning and OpenCV, guys. Again, OpenCV cannot be left out of deep learning. Deep learning is basically when you create a neural network to get some results, some output. But guys, OpenCV is something that you use for image processing, video processing, and we need to understand that too. In NLP, one more thing, speech to text and text to speech is something also you need to add, which is a very important thing too. It is a part of chat processing only. That's why I have not written it separately, but you should add that too. And deep learning and OpenCV is basically a work in combination. OpenCV, again, guys, a very powerful way of getting a job. If you just learn OpenCV and deep learning, that will be is more than enough to get you in a very good job. If you can learn it with NLP, it increases your chance of getting selected. Again, deep learning with OpenCV, you have to learn neural network, ANN, CNN, and RNN. And TensorFlow framework is there. Keras framework is there. Keras and TensorFlow basically work together. They're not really apart right these days. So if you learn Keras and TensorFlow, it will increase your chance to create a better model, to create a better project. Overall, a very good work can be done with this. Again, OCV and video image processing is there. So OpenCV is something will takes time. You have to learn about matrices, how to process an image, how to save an image, how to work with the images. CNN is again a part of it too. And if you just combine all these things together, you are a complete package of working on image and video processing, and that is a very very hot job in the market right now. Other skills also consider database. In database, you can learn SQL, Mango, and other any kind of SQL kind of is okay. Data work is okay. But if you can also learn big data later, not now but later, that will be an add-on for you. Big data, I'm not talking about complete big data, but I'm talking about at least up to more than basic level. You should know about big data. If you don't want to go up to in that much deep, you can just go for SQL, and that is more than enough. Visualization tool like Tableau and Power BI is also a part of artificial intelligence. Basically, when you go on data science project and you work on those projects, visualization is a last step. Basically, you have to tell us the storytelling step is there, which is also part of artificial intelligence too. You have to explain your project, whatever your findings, to people, which can be technical, non-technical, which can be sub-technical, and these kind of people are sitting in front of you. You have to explain them what you have find out, what you have learned from the overall project and overall data set. That is something that you need to find out. So it's a very very efficient way of doing it. Again, if you're adding the big data and visualization tool, guys, Tableau, Power BI is a very very strong tools that you can learn. Big data is something that you can add. These are later on, guys. AWS is also something that you have to add later. That means when you're done with getting a job and all those things, when you're working in the field, then you can add big data, you can add Tableau, Power BI, you can add AWS too in your skill set, which will increase your chance of getting a good promotion, a good level of job. Again, AWS is something you cannot really remove, because guys, AWS is basically the cloud computing is something that you have to work. Database is always on the cloud. You have to pick the data from there, and usually these days big data is there. So basically, data is saved in the big data format only. You have to send a query from to a cloud. Data is in the side the big data. You have to pick the data and you have to use it. That's why I'm adding all those things. It is on you if when you want to learn it. For now, just go on the above tools and above things, simple things. You can add this skill later. That is all from my side, guys. I hope you like the video, and I hope you understand the concept that we have covered. And if you have any doubt, let me know in the comments. I will definitely come to that and solve it for you. Thank you for your time. See you later.